What's going on, everybody? So I got a super important question for you guys. So these last 48 hours have been a little bit wild for me. So I am on a fast right now and I'm about 58 hours of no food. And I'm just getting racing thoughts and all kinds of questions. One of the biggest ones that came up for me yesterday was, where else am I lying to myself? Where else am I lying to everybody? So I've always been somebody who really believed that I do not lie. I do not lie, do not lie, do not lie. Like I just don't lie. Like I really believe that. And as time has passed and I've continued doing more work on myself, I've realized like every single little micro communication that you make with people, every single truth you think you make, every single request that you make, every single thing that you omit, all these different things all lead to either truth or lies. And I've realized, I'm like, man, there's so many things where I omit the truth, right? And now, this is not to say that I'm omitting the truth to everybody and not telling them what's actually happening. That's not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when I lie to myself, I'm also lying to others, right? So by not being honest with who I am, or being honest with what I intend to do, or being honest with what I think, and like fully, thoroughly just saying it, in a way, I'm kind of lying to people as well, right? And this is not to say that you have to tell everybody everything. We're not forced to. We don't have to. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I want you to think about specific relationships that you have with a few people. And so when you think about those relationships, is there anything within each of those individual relationships where there is something that they don't know about you? Or is there a perception that they have of who you are and the way that you think and your belief systems and the way you do things, etc., etc., etc. I'm pretty certain that if you think about a handful of people, there's going to be at least one person where you will realize that you're doing that. And now, look, you might think this is not that big of a deal. You might be like, well, I don't have to tell everybody everything, and you don't. But there's moments and there's certain situations that I've noticed for myself that when I'm not telling the truth, when I'm not being honest with somebody about a certain belief that I have about something, right? Let's say, for example, religion, or let's say about politics, or you're Democrat or Republican, or let's talk about how you should be raising your kids, or how you think your business should run, or how you think something should be done versus not being done, right? Just the pure fact of not expressing that. And the last one might be a really bad example, right? But I want you to think about things like that. Things about where you meet somebody and they're so certain about how to do something or their belief systems. And then you find yourself, and this is where I've noticed that I do this, where I end up not telling people what I truly believe about something because, and this is where the magic is, because why do I not do that? And it might be different for each and every single one of you, right? For myself, I've realized that the reason why I don't do it is because I'm scared of being rejected. Plain and simple. I'm scared of being rejected, and I'm scared of not being accepted by my peers or by my friends or by my family or anybody else. And it's something that I've done almost my entire life. It's been this belief system and that I've had since a kid where like people are just not going to accept me. Like my mind, my thoughts, and the things that I think and the things that I do things are going to be judged, and they're not going to want to be my friends, and they're not going to want to be with me, and they're not going to want to partner with me, and they're not going to all these different things. What that has caused for myself is that by me not being honest with people about what I truly believe or don't believe, it's having me live and be with people individually in a way that is not authentic with myself. And when I'm not authentic with myself, I then start being different around them. I then start being different. I start talking different. I start doing different. And the more I do that, the more I'm taking myself away from who I truly am. I'm taking myself away from my core. You might ask yourself like, okay, well, what is wrong with that? What would be the situation that comes out of that? You know, what ends up happening is that when you start omitting and you start lying and you start being somebody you're not, you are literally setting up yourself for disaster, because now people are going to have expectations of you based on what you said, who they think you are, based on the way you show up, and based on your belief systems that aren't fully true. You know, you might think that some of these things are like white lies or small lies. Like, hey, I'm not lying. I'm just not saying the truth. I'm just not saying that I don't believe in this. And maybe it is, maybe it's not, right? But what is it causing you, right? That's the question to ask, is like, what is it causing you in the way that you live your life, in the way that you live your life with those people? Because what if it is hurting it? What if it is slowing you down? And I've been noticing in these last 48 hours that by me not being truly authentic with who I am and being honest with my belief systems, it is actually slowing me down, but not slowing me down in a forwarding way. It's slowing me down in a way where it has me hesitate. It has me question myself. It has me be resentful. It has me, maybe omitting more things because it's a snowball effect, right? All these things are a snowball effect. And it's crazy because all these little things, I always thought they were like it was something small. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. I don't have to tell anybody anything. Like it's crazy how our minds find a way to justify what we're doing. When I'm speaking into, this is not like these situations where you just straight up honest, like just straight up lie to people, right? Where like, hey, did you steal this from me? Like, no, I didn't. And it really was you, right? That's a straight lie. But all these other things that I'm describing are also a form of lies. By doing these small lies, you're really just lying to yourself at the end of the day. By being honest and digging deep enough with yourself and what your truths are, you will be able to see that your performance, the way you think, the way that you do, the way that you communicate with people will dramatically change. It will shift over time, and this is not going to happen from one day to the next, right? But I'm noticing these things, and so now I'm like, man, where else am I slowing myself down? Where else am I slowing people down? Where else am I slowing, life down by not being honest with my true belief about certain things? Because when I get caught up in this whole like fear of being judged or fear of being rejected, it's literally harming everybody. It's not only harming me because I'm not being able to be forwarding with my belief systems, but it's also harming the other people because they now have different expectations of us. Now imagine if we do this in one place, where else are we doing this? And I would dare to bet that we all do this. I think majority of people, and I'm going to say like high 90%, do this in one way or another. And so again, like for me, it's a fear of acceptance, is fear of being judged. It might be different for you. You might have a different reason why you're doing it, or it might be the same reason for all of us, right? I think we all want to be accepted, right? None of us want to be judged, but at what cost, right? At what cost should we be willing to continue doing that, right? Because it's costing ourselves and it's costing others a different life, a life of authenticity. It's crazy because I thought I was authentic. I thought I was living my life in a way that's very authentic to who I am today, based on who I was 10 years ago. If you met me 10 years ago, like 1,000% was not authentic. 5 years ago, I wasn't authentic. 3 years ago, I wasn't authentic. Even last year, I wasn't fully authentic. Today, I am the most authentic and honest that I've ever been in my entire life, which is crazy that I'm even making this video right now because I'm like, man, I'm just the most honest I've ever been. This is the most authentic I've ever been. And to see that these patterns are still there, right? Like all the patterns that we develop over time, that we develop as children, there's this saying that I've heard that goes, more work, more time. More work, more time, more work, more time. And it's the same thing with everything, right? We all have different traumas. We all have different triggers. We all have all these different things. And over time, they slowly diminish, but they never really go away, within a day. They never really go away after a couple of years. Those same patterns, those same thought processes are always still there. And so you get to continue doing the work to like really just diminish it, more and more and more until eventually you can get to a point where it rarely surfaces, right? But that rarely surfacing part can take years, can take decades. And even when you're still doing it, it's minimal, right? It can become minimal to what you used to be. This is something to look at in our lives. Like where else are we doing this? And even if it's not this exact example that I'm giving, is there other parts in the way you operate, in the way you think, in the way you communicate, in the way you live your life that are affecting your true authentic self? Honestly, it's kind of cool to witness this right now because I'm like, man, I really thought I was like good. Like, and again, this is not to say like I wasn't trying to sound arrogant that like I'm good to go. Like I got nothing else to work on. Like I know I got more stuff to work on, but to realize that that layer is still there and we get to go deeper with that layer, like all those layers of who we are, we get to go deeper within each of them, deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just cool to see what, what can happen after, 10 years of doing, the inner work. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next several months, in the next couple of weeks, in the next several years of who I will be. But I am definitely, excited for who I am today, because who I am today and what I've realized about myself this last 48 hours is that this person can make a massive difference. This person can make a massive change, for his families, for his loved ones, for his kids. That's what I'm excited for. So if you guys have ever experienced anything like this, like drop a comment down below and let me know, what that is. And I would love to read those. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm about to go for a run right now. I'm 58 hours of no food and let's see how it goes. Catch you guys later.